And so, we'll take Model Y at these factories. We're trying to get to 5,000 cars a week as soon as we can.
Nice.
And then we'll continue to push beyond that.
5,000 cars a week times 4 times 12, and that's just on one car, Model Y.
Potentially even getting to 10,000 cars per week at those factories.
Nice.
And then we'll add Cybertruck here in Austin and continue to grow from there. So,
hello everyone, my name is Kaseem. Welcome to the channel. So in today's video, we're gonna continue the breakdown of Tesla Q3 financial results. We're gonna get into it. In the last video, we heard Zachary Cochran, Tesla's CFO. He talked about the things that they're doing. So now we're gonna continue the call. This is the part 2. Check out that video in the cards if you haven't seen it already, so you can get an idea of what they talk about. The kind of formats that I'm doing here is just me talking, commenting on what the Tesla team is talking that they're doing. Conference calls are basically a way where investors can get to hear from the management team and hear what the company that you're investing in, what they're up to. And you want to do that. You want to listen to your favorite companies, especially the companies that, you have a lot of money in, that you have a lot of conviction of. You want to listen to what they're doing, and you want to be able to, ask them questions if you can, but I'm not asking them questions. I just want to listen to the call, hear what the team is up to, and then I can go ahead and still say, hey, is this a good investment? Or is this good? Is it good for me to continue investing into this company based on what I heard from that last earnings call, based on what I heard from company news media releases and everything like that. So we're going to dive into the earnings call, and we're just going to continue from here. Do another 15 or so minutes of listening to the call, and then I'll add my commentary to it as well. So without taking too long, let's dive right into it. So this is the second part of Tesla's earnings call. So we're going to listen to it, and we're just going to hear what the team have to say. And, I'll add some commentary to it where I feel like I need to add some commentary. If you missed the first part, go check it out. I have the video in the cards. You can go check it out.
Thank you very much. And we will now take questions from institutional and retail shareholders that we posted on our website. The first question is, when should we expect the first vehicles to be delivered with 4680 cells?
So for those of you guys that don't know, 4680 is a new battery that Tesla designed. They talked about it at Tesla Battery Day. They designed the battery, and they're gonna have battery manufacturers some, and Tesla too is gonna they are manufacturing some right now in California, Cato Road, their factory over there. So that is what this person have a question about.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. Early next year,
okay.
From a non-cell perspective, structural battery crash, range, and reliability testing are on track to be complete this quarter.
Nice.
Testing to date has gone well.
Nice.
And the Fremont manufacturing line is on track to support. However, similar to what Zach said before, this is a new architecture, and unknown unknowns may exist still.
Sure.
Our top priority is ensuring quality in what we deliver.
Exactly.
And from a cell perspective, we are comfortable with the design maturity and manufacturing readiness matching the pack timeline I just mentioned.
Cool.
Thank you very much. The second question from institutional investor comes, do you still expect to start production of the $25,000 model in 2023? What are the biggest hurdles from now until then?
What does it mean for what does this mean for our future products? We're confident that long term we can design and manufacture a compelling $25,000 electric vehicle. This has always been our dream from the beginning of the company. I even wrote a blog piece about it. Because our first car was an expensive sports car, and then it was slightly less expensive sedan, and then finally sort of a mass market premium, but like the Model 3 and Model Y. But But really, it was always our goal to try to make an affordable electric car. And I think probably, like I said, about 3 years from now, we're confident we can make a very compelling $25,000 electric vehicle that's also fully autonomous.
And when you think about the $25,000 price point, you have to consider how much less expensive it is to own an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
So actually, it becomes even more affordable at that $25,000 price point.
Yeah.
The $25,000 car, that is going to be, it's going to be so big for Tesla, because that would now be competing with Toyota Corolla, Ford Focus, all these type of cars that most people can afford. You know, it's not too expensive for them to get a $200-300 monthly payment. You know, maybe $150 to $200 insurance, $500-600 monthly payment on the car. It's not so expensive for most people. Because right now, if you're trying to get a Model 3 and all these things, you're talking $7, $8, $9, $1,000 depending on your credit. So when they come out with that model, well, we don't know what model they're gonna call it yet. But when they come out with the $25,000 Tesla, it's going to be it for a lot of the other car companies, man. People they are not seeing it coming, man. They're not gonna see it coming.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah, we're working on a strategy to increase our production rates as quickly as possible. I think Zach spoke to that well. And we're doing this while trying to add the least amount of incremental complexity to the business. We don't want to add any new vehicles to our lineup when we're generally in a cell-constrained world.
Sure.
While there is still more runway to grow these existing products.
You guys, listen to what he just said. We don't want to add any new products to our lineup, because our lineup, what we have right now, is so backed up. It's so backed up that we don't want to add new product to it. Isn't that just great when you can invest in a company where people want their product so much that they're so backed up? I mean, I understand, there's a bunch of, logistic and, shortage and all these things due to the Rona, but like, at the end of the day, there's still a backup for their product. So that's one of the reasons why I still invest, because the company has things like this going on for it. How many companies will kill to have, months of backup, that product that people already ordered and paid for, and they just waiting to get the product so the company can get paid for making it and delivering it. Mad.
We're focused on Model Y expansion in Austin, Berlin.
Cool.
Ramping S and X further in Fremont to restore to past levels,
cool.
While also growing 3 and Y production in Fremont and Shanghai.
Cool.
As we've mentioned before, after Model Y in Austin, our next product launch will be Cybertruck. And that timing, of course, depends on increasing cell capacity, both from our suppliers and through our in-house cell, as well as many other headwinds we face in the supply chain, and completing our currently full plate of products on the table.
Sure. Because they still have the Roadster. The Roadster, we haven't really heard much about the Roadster. They have the Roadster coming up. They have the Cybertruck. They have all the backlog that they have. They got to catch up to all of those. And that's just with the car business. Then they still have the same thing going on with the solar, the grid business, all these other businesses that they're doing. Great future ahead for this company.
Thank you very much. The third question is, with FSD beta training datasets set to explode exponentially as software is released to a wider and wider audience, are there any early takeaways with regards to how quickly versions can iterate and be pushed out from bi-weekly to weekly or even daily?
Okay. Good question.
At this point, it's not so much about how much data can we collect, but how quickly can we process the data we've collected. This is where Dojo comes in, as we mentioned on.
So Dojo, that is Tesla's AI training computer. This is the AI computer that Tesla built. They talk about it at AI Day. They built it in order for it to train all the data that they get from the car. So let's say if a car is driving this way and the car sees a deer running in the middle of the road, the computer will remember that, hey, you know, in this day at this time, you know, like a deer ran in front of this car. So usually that person pushed the brake and stopped. So that means if that happened again in another place, then we have to automatically push the brake and stop. You got to drive the car. Anybody that is skeptical about what Tesla is doing, drive the car. You got to drive the car.
AI day with substantially faster training computer in Dojo, we will be able to iterate more often than we do now. If, for instance, say the net takes 1 day instead of 1 week, makes a huge difference in our ability to push out more updates. But realistically, there's a whole lot more that comes into play when iterating software updates. The whole infrastructure from top to bottom, including testing and validation, needs to be set up for faster iteration. So daily updates are not really realistic for now.
Sure.
Thank you very much. The next question is, can you provide an update on future model development and how much diversity in your fleet will be necessary to achieve 20 million in annual volumes? The best-selling cars in the world today only sell slightly over 1 million units. So is it possible to achieve 20 million units with just SX3Y truck and the $25,000 car?
Thanks, Martin. Yeah, as we've mentioned before, we've seen record growth in both Model 3 and Model Y segments, where Model 3 is currently the best-selling luxury sedan worldwide.
Yep.
And as we mentioned at our shareholders meeting, Model Y is poised to be the best-selling vehicle in the world.
Yep.
Tesla continues to break molds in these vehicle segments, and we hope to do so with each new product.
Okay.
As we've said publicly, we'll eventually expand the vehicle lineup to get to larger volumes, and we believe that we will need to be.
They still have van that they're gonna do in the future. They have the quad that goes with a Cybertruck. They have $25,000 car, obviously. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're gonna even do buses, you know, electric buses. Who knows? Like you know, a lot of good things still to come, you know. But let them be able to get their hands on batteries first, you know. They can't do these things without getting their hands on batteries and then catching up with, you know, the chip shortage. Hopefully the Rona will be out of the way in the next maybe another 2 years. Who knows? I mean, it's still not been around 2 years now and it's affecting everything. So hopefully once all this stuff works its way and gets better, hopefully the company can keep it pushing and they can keep on improving the products and bringing out more products and everything like that.
All major segments across small, mid-size, large sedans, SUVs, and trucks to do so.
That is their plan. They want to have cars in all the major segments. So like you just said, cars, SUVs, sedan, trucks, they want to have cars in all the segments. So we're going to be seeing a lot of different Teslas in the near future.
Along with, of course, the massive space of robotaxi.
Thank you very much. The next question from retail shareholder is, what is Tesla's goal for vehicle production capacity for the 4 current factories, Fremont, Shanghai, Austin, and Berlin, by 2024?
Okay, good question.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. You know, our goal as a company here is to grow on an average pace of 50% per year. And so you can extrapolate that out. You know, there may be some periods of time in which we're well ahead of that. There could be some periods of time, despite best efforts, where we're slightly lower than that. But that remains the long-term goal of the company. In Fremont, you know, we're continuing to push the boundaries of what's possible there. You know, over the last 12 months, we've done about 430,000 cars of production, and you know, based upon
430,000 cars in Fremont. Jeez, that means in China too, over the past 12 months, they're probably doing around about the same thing. So Tesla could easily get to maybe 850, 900,000 cars by the end of this year. I mean, we're going to know that the Q4 earnings is going to come up maybe in 2 months or so. We're going to know that pretty soon. Oh, wow. That is quite nice. They're getting so close to 1 million cars delivered in 1 year. So they're getting so close.
Everything that we know in the factory, where the bottlenecks are, what the potential is, we're targeting to increase that another 50%.
Okay.
I think that will be a difficult goal, but that's the goal that the internal team has, and they're going to continue to push on that.
Cool.
As we look towards Shanghai, we're continuing to push the boundaries there, and we continue to ramp production there as well. So most recently, the ramp of the Model Y, which was our biggest contributor of volume in Q3, we'll continue to ramp that factory.
Okay.
And and our plans there with time are to keep growing the capacity in that factory.
Okay.
Austin and Berlin are interesting factories because our first iterations of capacity there are on Model Y, but we've intentionally set these factories in locations in which they have a quite significant amount of land and ability to expand.
Austin and Berlin, and recently, that's outside. This is outside of this video. Recently, they basically said they expanding the Shanghai factory right now. The Berlin and Austin factory, that one is coming up maybe, by the end of this month, or maybe by the end of the first 3 months of next year, 2022. Those ones are going to come online, and they're going to be producing something. So maybe they're going to be producing cars. So maybe that will take, 6 months to a year, maybe a year and a half, where those places are fully staffed. They are producing cars like on a constant basis, reducing the backlogs that they have. Then they're going to be working on their batteries. They're going to be working on the supply chains. So that way, the company is able to basically get back to, okay, which product do we have? Do we need to build a new factory? Where do we need to have this factory? Those are the things that I'm excited about. So it's good to hear that the team are basically on that wavelength as well.
And so, we'll take Model Y at these factories. We're trying to get to 5,000 cars a week as soon as we can.
Nice.
And then we'll continue to push beyond that.
5,000 cars a week times 4 times 12, and that's just on one car, Model Y.
Potentially even getting to 10,000 cars per week at those factories.
Nice.
And then we'll add Cybertruck here in Austin and continue to grow from there. So, our goal is to get to millions of cars per year over the next couple of years. And then ultimately, in the long term, be able to achieve 20 million cars per year.
20 million cars per year. That's their long-term goal. And I believe that this Tesla team right here, they are going to get it done because they face a lot of obstacle in the history of Tesla. They faced a lot of obstacle and they've been able to get it done. Like the ramp for Model 3 was hard. Getting the Roadster started even was hard. So they've had experience on walking through tough times, and it's greatly rewarded them. Like, look at the stock price. The people that started with this company like 10 years ago, these people are multi-millionaire. Like, it's rewarded them so much. So they know firsthand what it takes to get to where they need to get to, based off of experience. So I believe that they're gonna get there. So I'm just, whenever I listen to this earnings call, it just always give me that calm down. You're investing in a good company. Relax. Keep doing your thing. I really, really love listening to these calls.
We're going to grow as quickly as is feasibly possible with an eye towards a 50% annual growth rate.
Yeah. No company is giving you 50% growth rates in their business right now. And, if you think 10, 20 years from now, robotaxi is going to be a thing then. If you think about Uber, it didn't take too long for people to adjust to using Uber or Lyft. So I don't think it will take too long for people to adjust using robotaxi.
Great, thank you very much. The next question is, what is your view on the tightening regulatory environment for FSD in the investigation and broad data request by NHTSA? Some of the recent nominees to NHTSA have been publicly critical of FSD, including engaging with short sellers online. How will you manage this environment?
Thanks, Martin. Yeah, as we have been for years, we always engage with NHTSA and other worldwide regulatory bodies to share our knowledge and to work with them on our approaches on both active and passive safety. There are ongoing regulatory inquiries taking place all the time, and especially on the subjects like FSD that are at the cutting edge of technology development.
Exactly.
During these investigations, my team, myself, are always cooperative as much as possible. We expect and embrace the scrutiny of these products and know that the truth about their performance and the innovations our products have will ultimately be all that matters. In the end, and as I've said on previous calls, we take safety as a top priority in all our designs. This is because our primary motivation is coming from a team of incredible engineers designing software and hardware that saves lives and prevents injuries.
Exactly.
In doing so, we'll continue to be transparent to the public on how our technology is both developing from an Autopilot safety data, the latest of which we just shared in the shareholder update. And you can also see and review a wide variety of customer post FSD videos on social media.
Sure. So anyways, let me just recap that section for you guys. So there's the government body called NHTSA in America that regulates like the highway, car production, all these things. They're basically in charge of that. So the new person that Biden and the team hired, the president hired to basically give advice on how the government should approach things. The lady, she's just anti-Tesla, like she thinks she's a college professor. I'll put her details here if I can find her. She's a college professor, and she's basically anti-Tesla, and she's always giving wrong information and all these things about Tesla. But the thing is, we live in the United States. This is America. And in America, there's something called rule of law. There's a court system. You don't have to agree with anybody. You don't have to agree with the government. You don't have to agree with your company. You don't have to agree with your neighbor. If you have a contract or you have something and someone is stopping you from trying to do what you're doing, like Tesla is a business, and as a business, they want to grow, and they're a business that they're doing cutting edge things. Which other companies started self-driving? Which other companies started electric vehicles? Which other companies saw those visions to be able to do it and actually bring the product to life, right? So this lady, she's basically anti-Tesla, and this is why the guy is asking, hey, how are you guys going to manage this whole thing? And the Tesla executive just said they're going to manage it it's just same way that they manage everything else. They're building the cutting edge technology. So obviously government agencies and all that stuff, they're going to want to know what's going on when it comes to safety and all these things. They want to get involved, and they're going to be working with them, which I think is a good idea. It's a great thing. Why not?
Right.
Yeah, just to add to that, I mean, as Lars said, safety is extremely important for Tesla.
Yep.
It's the right thing to do.
Yep.
And if you look,
Tesla makes the safest car, period. They make the safest car. Their car is basically the safest car on the road, period.
At various independent testing and regulatory testing of our products, you can see the work of the incredibly talented engineers and the results of those tests. And our goal in developing safety-oriented software around the car is to continue to go beyond what the hardware is able to provide. If you can prevent a crash from happening, that's the safest way to manage this. And I think at a macro level here, what we're seeing, and this is entirely understandable and expected, is that the automotive industry is going through a transition from the traditional car as we know it to more of a computer, software-oriented sensor suites around them that can manage things beyond just what the driver manages.
Computer on wheels, aka robots on wheels, aka self-driving cars, aka semi-sentient robot on wheels.
And regulatory bodies are understandably so, are interested in understanding how to regulate in this environment.
Sure.
And NHTSA is no exception to that.
Sure.
So as Lars mentioned here, I think this is a great thing. We're excited to partner, and we'll work collaboratively with all regulatory bodies who want to go on the journey to the transition to a software-oriented vehicle.
Sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this section short here and wrap this video up. So as you guys know, like you just heard in that closing remarks there, Tesla will keep on working on their thing. They're going to work with government bodies to make sure, you know, the government catch up with what they're doing. Obviously, governments don't, they're usually lacking behind when it comes to all this kind of technology, but they want to make sure that the technology happens in their country. So I think what Tesla is doing is great. They also talked about the backlog of products that they have, that they're trying to manage that one first before they introduce new products. They said that they're gonna have products in every single categories when it comes to vehicles. That means van, sedans, hatchback, all the important vehicle segments they're gonna have product in. If they're saying they're gonna have products in all the important vehicle segments, where semi truck is still coming, I'm sure buses is still coming, I'm sure van is still coming, you know. And they also talked about like they are basically just getting close to delivering their first million vehicle in 1 year. Now their ultimate goal is to get to 20 million deliveries every year. So that means right now, let's say we fast forward 12 months, 24 months, 2 years, their capacity right now could easily be topping 3 to 5 million vehicles with the factories that they have right now. So I think in the future, they're still going to build more factories in other places so they can expand, you know, their vehicles and everything like that. So lots of good and exciting things are happening with Tesla. And, you know, it's a company that's, I love what they're doing. And I believe that this company is going to make a lot of people very, very wealthy. You just got to know what they're doing and not listen to too much of the, you know, FUD that is out there. Like, for example, recently, the president, they've had a bunch of events with EV. They never invited Tesla. They had an event recently where they talked about GM had an event that the president was saying that, oh, GM is leading the world, which is blatantly false. False information. GM is not leading the world when it comes to electric vehicles. Tesla clearly is. So there's a lot of things that are not true about Tesla in the mainstream media, because if you're watching this, you're smarter than most people, plain and simple, because you are seeking your own information, and you know, you found this channel one way or the other. So, you know, but I'm going to do more videos on that and what happened and everything. I'm going to do that in the future. So stay tuned. So yeah, thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, please give the videos a thumbs up. It tells the algorithm that people love the content. So please give the video a thumbs up. Appreciate you. It helps me, it helps my channel out. It helps push my content to a brand new audience. Appreciate you for that. So that's it with this video. Stay tuned for the other ones. Okay, this is going to be maybe a 4 or 5 part series. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, see you later. Love you all. Bye.